Hi everybody, welcome back to Dozen Cats Wellness Tarot. This is a special reading. This reading is a message for Valentine's Day from Jane Austen. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. I wanted to do this reading on Jane Austen because I am a huge fan of Jane Austen's, and I wanted to know what she had to say. And so this is a general reading. It's for entertainment purposes only. If it resonates, claim it. If it doesn't, leave it behind. We've got the Spellcasting Oracle, the Sacred Traveler Oracle, and the Guardian Angel Oracle, as well as the Angel Wisdom Tarot. So some interesting facts about Jane Austen. She was born on December 16th of 1775 in Stevenson, which is in the county of Hampshire, England, or the UK, Great Britain. She was 41 years old when she passed away on July 18th, 1817. And over the course of her life, she published 4 novels. Sense and Sensibility in 1811, Pride and Prejudice in 1813, Mansfield Park in 1814, and Emma in 1815. Persuasion and Northanger Abbey were published together after her passing in 1817. Jane Austen was the second daughter and 7th child in a family of 8, 6 boys and 2 girls. Her father was a Reverend George Austen, and her mother, Cassandra, were a loving family who encouraged their children to embrace the love of learning, and they all enjoyed acting, putting on shows and skits. She was encouraged by her brother Henry, who acted as her go-between with her publishers, to write and to publish her novels. She was probably also prompted by her need for money because she was quite poor. 2 years after she agreed to publish Sense and Sensibility, she published them anonymously in November of 1811. They had leading reviews, critical reviews, and quarterly reviews that were all welcomed. And sort of a popularity started to rise for more of Jane Austen's writing. Of course, we know today that many of her books have been adapted for television and movies and other books, numerous films. Jane Austen, just to put this into perspective, was paid for all of her books while she was living a total of £684. And that was the 4 books in her lifetime, which equates to approximately $67,456 for her entire lifetime of earnings. She is on Oprah's 27 Greatest Romance Novels to Read for Pride and Prejudice. Book Riot lists Pride and Prejudice as one of the best-selling romance books of all time. And Goodreads ranks Pride and Prejudice number 1, Sense and Sensibility number 5, Persuasion number 7, and Emma number 71 on a list of 100 top romance novels of all times. So, what's even more interesting is that there has been so many, speculations and rumors about her love life. The truth of the matter is she was never married. And yet this woman of that time period wrote such beautiful novels about matters of the heart. She spoke of a society that she was not a part of, but that she knew, whether imagined or real, meaning whether she was actually a part of it or not. Who are we to say, and how do we really know that, right? There's a lot of speculation and a lot of, conflicting stories, but there's not any concrete evidence that she knew that Regency sort of lifestyle, right? That elevated high society lifestyle. So what makes her fascinating is that this person of that time period where women were, basically not empowered, had this amazing sense of self, sense of understanding. She knew what she wanted. She knew about things that she should know about, really, right? She'd never really experienced love, although there is some theories that she did have a suitor that she accepted, and the next day she changed her mind. And then there was apparently a love that she was supposed to marry, but that never happened because that person's family didn't agree with her upbringing or her family's status. So the fact that she could do what she's done, and that those novels have stood the test of times and have been the sort of jump off of so many other great movies and novels, all about matters of the heart, and also, women empowerment, girl empowerment, female empowerment, is absolutely astounding to me. And I thought it would be interesting to see what she has to say. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. So we're going to start with the spellcasting oracle, and throughout this, I'm going to give you just a couple of lines from some of her books and movies. That really make you think that she had a very good grasp, a very good understanding on who she was, what she wanted, what she needed, and how she felt about love in general. So the first card out is home, right? Home. Your place of safety, your place of solid foundation, the place where you feel secure and loved and embraced, right? It is the beginning of your future, right? What you learn in your home as a child is the thing that sets you up for the rest of your life. A line from the book Mansfield Park says, "There are as many forms of love as there are moments in time." And I think she drew from her childhood. She drew from interactions with her siblings and her neighbors and her parents to be able to come up with a line like that, right? She recognized throughout her life that these interactions, these connections with people were really setting her up for what she wanted for the rest of her life. We have compassion. I mean, she had a heart of gold. She understood herself. She was kind. She was understanding. She was loving. Another line from a book, the Northanger Abbey book. I have no notion of loving people by half, or halves, as she said. And we have reconciliation. She had a very profound sense of like getting on with it, right? Getting past it, dealing with something and moving ahead. It doesn't appear, and this is just my personal opinion, that she held on to things internally, right? Which is amazing because, you know, don't most of us wish that we could do that. I'm going to move these this way. Sorry, friends. The line from Mansfield Park. We have all a better guide in ourselves if we would attend to it than any other person can be. In other words, you are your best guide. You are your best protector. You are your best advisor, right? You know yourself better than anyone else ever will or ever could. You have the power, you have the control, you have the understanding, you have the wisdom. We have watching clouds, lie back, rest, and relax. It's just, you know, I can picture her in the moments, and I don't feel like she had a lot of moments where she could just, you know, sit back and relax. But in those moments when she could, her imagination soared to these incredible places, right? Where she developed these amazing characters and amazing plots and storylines. She really was ahead of her time. Embracing enthusiasm, shout to the heavens with happiness. I mean, think about it. Think about it. 1775 is when she was born. 1811 is when she started to publish her books. 1811. Imagine how fulfilled and empowering it must have been for a single woman to sell a novel and to be able to provide for her family with the payment from that sold novel. We have unknown territory. You are exactly where you need to be. It must have been such a, what's the word I'm looking for? Such a uncharted journey, right? I mean, it's not like she had anyone to look up to in terms of, you know, other female novelists. And I'm not saying that there wasn't any at the time, but I'm saying that it seems like it was very much like her stepping out on a journey where she already knew that most of the people that she needed to be on her side would think that she was being, you know, silly or, you know, not like wasting her time, not, you know, looking at things properly, that she was in some kind of like dreamlike altered reality. And this speaks to this great belief in herself, this great sense of knowing who she is, and this great sense of, self-confidence, right? From the movie, which, by the way, is one of my favorite movies, which is an adaptation of her book, Emma. And, of course, all these lines come from her books. But I've never read the book, Emma. I've only ever seen the movie, and I think it's come out in like 4 different fashions, or 4 different adaptations. It says that there is no charm, or she says there is no charm equal to tenderness of heart. Speaking to her compassion and her self-confidence, right? It's like she knew exactly who she was and exactly what she needed. I'm 58 years old, and I don't know that I know who I am as well as she knew herself at that age. And at that time, she was like 30-something. We start out with the sun, feeling the joy, feeling the blessings, feeling gratitude, brilliant epiphanies, and magical opportunities. Nothing was going to hold her back. Nothing was going to stand in her way. She was determined to the nth degree to bring her passion to life and ultimately to make it available for the rest of us. I dare say she had no idea that her books, her words, would have such an impact and would stand the test of time for over 200 plus years and counting. A line from Pride and Prejudice says, "Till this moment, I never knew myself." Till this moment, I never knew myself. Talking about the vulnerability, right? You can believe in yourself, and you can have this great self-confidence, and you can have, this faith and this hope. But until someone acknowledges that and says yes, sort of co-signing it, gives you that little extra push of acceptance. You don't know. It's like you're not a hugger, right? I don't like people coming into my personal space. Don't touch me, don't hug me, right? And then all of a sudden a person comes along and you want them to hug you, and they hug you. And in that moment, you're like, oh my goodness, I never knew how good, how reaffirming, how reassuring, how warm that hug can make me feel. We have the 5 of Pentacles being left out in the cold. Fears surrounding money. And she really was in a position where she felt like she had to do something to lift her family up. When her father passed away, well, actually, when her father retired at the age of 70, that's when the family situation sort of went downhill. And Her sister was married, but her sister's husband died in the war. So basically it was like, or actually, I don't know if she actually got married. I should correct myself. There was a promise to be married, I believe. I don't know that they actually carried through with it, but he passed away in a war. And so her sister and her became like these spinsters and lived with their mom after their father's passing. And they were very, very poor. And this was a way for her to make money, right? To feed her family. And she took on that role quite willingly. But she needed the support of other people, i.e. her brother, to help her get these books published, because she had tried and was declined. We have the Three of Wands coming out. She had a goal. She had a vision. She planned for the future. She was planning for the long term. I think that she knew what she wanted. I think that she hoped that what she wanted could actually turn into what we know her to be today. From Pride and Prejudice. I cannot fix on the hour, or the look, or the words which laid the foundation. It is too long ago. I was in the middle before I knew that I had even begun. So that sort of is like, you're in the, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? I want to do it, right? I have all these ideas. She gets down to work, and before she even realized what she had created, before she even believed that this was going to become something, she still doubted herself. She still questioned herself. I don't think that she knew at that time that what she was writing would be, the novels that young women, young men, young people, old people would read for hundreds of years, right? I don't know that she wanted to be a great writer or a great author. She just wanted to publish her stories. We have the Three of Swords. Great sadness, heartbreak, loss, letting go of the past, personal growth that comes from different challenges. So, we know today about journaling, and expressing ourselves through the written word helps to, bring those emotions out of us and allows us to see it for what it is and be able to navigate, the healing of those situations, those words, those occasions, those issues. She dealt with her loss, her heartbreak, her upset through the written word. This was her form of therapy. A line from Sense and Sensibility says, I wish, as well as everybody else, to be perfectly happy. But, like everybody else, it must be in my own way. We have the Ten of Wands, working hard in too many hours, the need for balance in your life. As I said before, I can't imagine that she had, all of this spare time to just go, and write. These moments where she could write came at a cost, right? So either she was burning the candle at both ends, staying up, late, or waking up early in the morning, you know, taking moments as they occurred, as opposed to the way that we are today, where, if I wanted to write, I could take a couple of days and just hunker down and get to it. She didn't have that ability. She had to, work the fields and do things to clean the house and look after her siblings and, help her mom and dad, etc., etc. We have the Hanged Man coming out, a temporary pause for reflection, right? This is the moment where you sit down and you try to figure out, what does this all mean? It's an awakening, it's insight, it's a perspective, right? And perhaps when the first book was published, when the first income from that book being published came, is when she recognized and realized that this was real, right? And that this wasn't just a dream, it wasn't just a fantasy anymore, that people wanted to hear what she had to say. People wanted more. We have the King of Cups. I believe that this represents her brother, because without her brother's understanding, without her brother's compassion and embrace and encouragement and his assistance, she would not have gotten her books published. He was the liaison, shall we call it, between her and the publisher. He was the person who encouraged her that this could be done and helped to make it happen. We have the Two of Swords, right? Crossroads, indecision, being unable or unwilling to make a decision. I'm sure that many times she either was fighting or shutting down the voices in her own head or the voices from other people, that the whole writing thing was, just a fantasy. It was not real. It was, a waste of time. There were more important things for her to be indulging in other than this, right? Novels were nonsense. It's not real. And we have the Ten of Pentacles, what I lovingly refer to as the happy home card, which is a great way to sort of sum this up. We started with a home card. We're going to end with the happy home card. Financial security, peace and contentment in our life. And passing on knowledge. And there she be, the Queen of Pentacles. Generous, practical, gracious, the ability to make anything more beautiful. A love of family and home. A sensible approach. One of the greatest lines from Pride and Prejudice is, "I am determined that not only the deepest love will induce me into matrimony." For a woman of 1711, in this society in which women were very much, seen and not heard, she had this incredible sense of self. An incredible sense of self. She knew who she was, and she made no apologies. She forged a path that many women, many men also have followed. What an appropriate card. Angel of Past Lives. There probably isn't a romance novelist out there in the last 200 plus years that hasn't thought of Jane Austen in some form or fashion while they're writing their book. You have Angel of Balance, and she would have had to balance navigating the life, her status, being a female in that day and age. Many of her books represent characters that had this great sense of self-awareness and great sense of confidence, and oftentimes were very much the sort of, speaking out of turn kind of person, right? Not shy to voice how they felt, which sort of doesn't really speak to that time period, especially for a female. And we have Angel of Success. Shoot for the stars, shoot for the moons, listen to your heart, listen to yourself, know who you are, empower yourself, fulfill yourself. Nothing is in your way. Nothing is in your way. From Pride and Prejudice till this moment, I never knew myself. Beautiful. That's our message from Jane Austen today. On this day of love and listening to our heart, Jane Austen encourages us to have a level of confidence, a level of compassion, a level of understanding that empowers us to be bold, to be creative, to embrace our passions, to embrace the people that love us and support us and lift us up. To be the best you that you can be. And we thank her for such an outstanding message. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. until we see each other again, I wish you many, many blessings. Mwah. Bye for now.